Let's not sugarcoat it. This was a tough week for the gold bulls. In today's video, we're going to look at the weekly charts of gold to take out all the daily 4-hour, 1-hour action. Just look at the gold price and the silver price from a bird's eye view to give us the true signals that the charts are telling us, where gold is going, what the factors that are influencing gold and therefore silver, what they look like on the weekly. And there's one indicator people are not paying enough attention to that actually has me really excited about gold. Let's get into it. Welcome to Hot Trades of the Day, your show for swing trading ideas for the coming days, weeks, and month. Hello, my name is Daniel Helmy. Welcome to the channel, and we're going to jump right into it because it's the summer weekend. You guys got better things to do than watching my ugly face and listen to me talk about gold and silver. Again, just because of that, I have to say, I really appreciate that you take the time out of your day. So I'll try to get you in and out of here quickly. So this is the weekly chart for gold. And as you know, I care a lot about the weekly charts because they kind of blend out all the craziness, all the wild noises of the daily action and even the intraday action, and just give us clearer signals. And this is gold spot on the weekly. And as you can see, if I zoom in, it's not been a good week. Last week, again, this is the weekly, we broke below the uptrend and we broke below the 50 weekly, which has been, let me get back to you. Here we go. As you can see here, with us all the way back to 2023, the winter of 2023. So when gold was getting ready to break out, which we did in March 2024, right? In the winter, the first predictor was we jumped over the 50 weekly and then we rode it up all the way. And now we not only broke below it, that happened last week, including, again, the uptrend that has been in place since December 2024. No, this week we confirmed the break below. This is a significant signal, just as it's a really bad signal that we have this long wick here, as you can see. So we gained strength. The market tried to push higher. Remember, Iran peace deal, gold jumps, miners jump, and we couldn't hold it. And we sold off again. And in the daily, you can see it, but you can see it really, really clearly in the weekly. And that's why I like the weekly. So just these 4 factors alone. Confirming the breakdown of the uptrend, confirming below the 50 weekly, no strength during the week, and confirming the downtrend that you see here. On the weekly, we very clearly have to come to the conclusion gold is going lower. That is the only conclusion that we can have. Now, do you want to hear this? Probably not. I don't want to hear it, but I don't care. The market doesn't care what I want to hear. It doesn't care what you want to hear. That's the way it is. On the weekly, as you can see here, we just made the lowest low since December 2025. So a new 6-month low on the weekly. Any way you slice it, this was a bad week for gold. Okay. Now, if you follow this channel, then you know that my thesis had always been we're going to undercut certain important support zones, get a liquidity grab, which means stops get triggered, the retail investors and the dumb institutional money, and there's plenty of that. especially in the commodity sector, is selling or forced to sell, and the smart money is gobbling up those cheaper prices for buys. Now, we got the first two. We got the break below the uptrend, and we got break below the 50 weekly. Again, I just showed you the 50 weekly is important. The next big one is 4,000. So ideally, I envision a scenario like this. This would be my dream scenario. Market craters hard, undercuts 4,000. Well, this might be a little simplistic way to look at it, but you get my point. So we undercut 4,000. We trigger all the stops because, man, we haven't been below 4,000 since November. So, well, yeah, I mean, middle of November, but you get my point. 4,000, round number. That's something that's going to grab the attention of the mainstream media. Everybody's going to talk about, oh my God, gold below 4,000. It's going to break down. It's going to go to 3,500. The gold rally is over. We're going to get panic selling. Again, if you've seen my previous videos on gold, I told you one of the things that I have not seen is panic. We have seen negative sentiment, but we have not seen panic selling. And the panic selling is really, that's when you know you're at the end. So that, in my opinion, will be triggered if we break below 4,000. And that would be the ultimate fake out. That would be the low. That would be my ideal scenario. I'm not going to predict that it's going to happen that way. I'm sorry. I'm not Harry Potter. I can't see into the future. But that's a very likely scenario. We undercut 4,000, liquidity grab, and then the market turns and nobody sees it coming. If we do not get this scenario, which would require a quick breakdown and a quick rebound, then the gold market is in trouble. And then we would have to assume that we will get something like this. Retest of the 4,000, can make it, break down to 3,500, and then go higher. I prefer option one. I've said this on this channel for a long time. If you missed those videos, subscribe to the channel so you get all the notifications. Either way, I think we're still going to come out on top in gold. And here is an indicator that not enough people are paying attention to that has me really bullish, it might be too strong a word, but it has me very positive on scenario A. And that is, look at the RSI down here. Look how low we are. We're at 39. Look how far I have to go back to find the time when the RSI was this low, which is October. Actually, you know what? Let me take this off. You've seen them. You know what's up. So here we go. October 2023, we were at 35.50. Well, I don't know what you think, but I think that was a pretty good time to buy. The next time we're this low or even lower, because we're at around 32, was here. And as you can see, you would have been a little early on the first one, but you caught the low of this correction move pretty good. And then we have this one right here. These are all like 36 to 32 range. So this is since 2020. This is 4 times the RSI of gold on the weekly has been this low or lower. That doesn't happen so often. So this is interesting for me. If we get a fast sell-off, the RSI on the weekly could drop quite a bit more, and then we're getting into really oversold territory, especially if we get a quick sell-off. And that, to me, is then the next big buying signal. Again, if the weekly is this getting down that way, then the daily is going to get really oversold, and that's going to be a real good buying indicator. Now let's look at the dollar real quick and the 4 factors. We know the 4 factors, and then we're going to close it out with silver. This is the dollar, this is the Dixie on the weekly. It looks great. What do you want me to say? Highest weekly close since May 2025, so over a year. New yearly high close on the weekly. We're making higher highs, we're making higher lows, bottoming formation. Dollar looks like it wants to break out, looks like it's going to go higher. That is what would put pressure on gold. Oil price on the weekly, not much has changed, except we see this tail here in the support zone that I defined in previous videos, and we're above the 50 weekly, so it's a little bit better than, and has improved a little bit than it looked during the week. We still have the gap fill at 85. It's kind of a nothing burger on the weekly. On the daily, oil has improved and keeps improving short term. And then let's look at the bonds real quick. Okay, it doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't look great. So there's nothing that we need to worry about here right now. You would think we at least going to test the 50 weekly. There's a big gap open right here on the close, which would also correlate with this uptrend. On the 30, on the 10 looks nasty. Boy, was that a nasty, nasty bull trap, right? We break out on the weekly close. We start the week going higher, and it turns out to be a complete bear trap. 10-year doesn't look good. We got a gap right here. You would assume we're going to do a gap fill here. We would still be above the 50 weekly, so things are not super positive for gold. But again, short term on the weekly, it very much looks like there won't be any headwinds from the bond market for gold. So that is positive. Now let's look at silver real quick on the weekly spot. And as you can see, not a great week for silver, but overall, silver still looks better than gold. Did not make a new intraday low, did make a new weekly closing low, right? The last time we saw this, again, same thing, was that we were lower, was in December 2026. So new 6 months weekly close low, which last week we did not have. This week it happened, so that's negative. Confirmed the downtrend, that's negative. But we are still above the 50 weekly, which gold is not. Intraday, we're still above the lows from March. So do I think that silver can decouple? No, it can't. If I expect gold to go lower, I expect silver to go lower. And again, if we zoom out real quick, we all know the area that everybody's laser focused about, and that is obviously the old all-time high, the baby blue, the North Carolina Tar Heel blue line that I drew in here. Around 50. I've said before, I don't think we're going to go to 50 because everybody thinks we're going to 50. And when everybody thinks it, that's usually not what happens in the market. But I can see an undercut. I can see an undercut of the 50 weekly if gold goes weekend. I can see an undercut of this uptrend. Maybe doink off this support zone like 55 and then go higher if gold turns around. So, what do the weekly charts tell us? Nothing great. Let's not kid ourselves, unfortunately, but that's the truth. But that's okay. We also see silver looks better than gold. I've talked about this before on the channel. It's the solar comeback, right? The industrial demand for silver. And obviously, because it's industrial demand, year 6 of the supply deficit. But we're getting an interesting RSI situation in gold that we need to monitor, which obviously would have effects on, we're going to see it first on the RSI in the daily. If we get a wash-off sell-off in the next week or two, it's going to get really interesting. I'm going to be watching mainstream media like a hawk. And if they throw in the towel, that is our sign that we are close to the bottom. No need for me to rush in and buy anything right now. Didn't do so last week. Working on my watch list, as you know. Gonna present to you an interesting gold advanced developer that's gonna go in production likely next year. Bye bye. Have a great day.